Dummies or pacifiers can be fantastic settling tools for young babies. Babies find it super soothing to suck, and they will often fall asleep really easily if they have a dummy or a pacifier. But sometimes they can become a nuisance. Today's question is, what are your tips on removing a dummy for an 11-month-old? Hi, I'm Amanda, founder and co-creator of Little One Sleep Programs. I'm mother to two fantastic little girls, and I'm also a pediatric sleep specialist. At Little Ones, we provide comprehensive online programs for your baby's sleep and also nutrition for babies aged newborn right through to preschool and toddler age. We do this with our custom-built app where we house our programs, and also our fantastic customer support village where our trained sleep consultants are there day and night to be able to help you with any questions you may have. Make sure you visit us at www.little-ones.co to download your sleep program now. So back to today's question. What are your tips on removing a dummy for an 11-month-old? Removing a dummy or pacifier at any age can be really tricky. The earlier you do it, as with any sleep association, if you're trying to change or remove a sleep association, it is better to do it earlier rather than later. But with a dummy or a pacifier, this is a little bit of a different one. You can teach your baby to sleep independently without a dummy around 3 to 4 months old after they go through the sleep regression, but after about 6 to 8 months old, if your baby still has a dummy or pacifier, you can actually teach them to find the dummy and replace it themselves. So that means that they can turn their sleep association into a baby-controlled sleep association, which is obviously ideal and meaning that you don't have to go for those late night dummy runs. So if you find your baby of around 11 months old is still requiring you to put the dummy into their mouths while they're sleeping, you can of course teach them to put it in themselves. I recommend some sort of lovey, or you can find these fantastic little cuddly toys that have often little Velcro pieces that can attach for dummies, one on each corner. That is what I did with my first child. I had a lovey that had those dummies on it. I then, at around 8 months old, taught her in the night to search and find the cuddly that had her attached dummies, and she would put it in herself. She also could sleep without her dummy, but it was just a thing that she enjoyed. She enjoyed the cuddly part of the cuddly lovey as well, so she enjoyed playing with that and falling asleep. So with my first child, we did then eventually remove her dummy and leave her with just the cuddly at around 3 years old. Once her naps had completely disappeared, once she was definitely tired and needed to sleep, and once she was actually able to understand a sort of a dummy fairy situation where she was able to give her dummy to the dummy fairy and she got a reward for being a big girl. So this is what we would recommend in our programs if you have got your baby or toddler searching for their own dummies, finding it themselves and then putting it in, not removing it until they're down to no naps. And really, playing on the dummy fairy and the reward that they will get if they remove their dummies. Removing a dummy around 11 months is actually a little bit of a tricky age. They're still usually having 2 naps a day. They will have that extra sort of staying power to be able to fight you and not go to sleep if you are going to try and change a sleep association around that age. I would actually wait 1 or 2 months until they've dropped that morning nap. Now this is just purely because once they've dropped their morning nap, if you are trying to remove a sleep association, they will have to still go to sleep and they won't be able to fight you as much as what they would when they were around 11 months on 2 naps a day still. If you are trying to remove it at this stage, you will often want to replace the dummy with a different sleep association at first. Try and swap it out and replace it with even a parent present type association, and then remove you later on down the track from those naps and sleeps. But if you are having trouble with doing that, I would wait until 2.5 to 3 years old, where your baby or toddler is able to really understand what is going on. They're down to no naps at all, they're tired enough, and they really understand the dummy fairy situation at that stage. So in answer to your question, what are your tips on removing a dummy for an 11-month-old? I would first of all, if you really are having issues with the dummy and they're waking up, I would first of all teach your baby, if you haven't already, to find and search for the dummy themselves. Maybe get a Lovey or a Sleepy Tot type product where you can put a couple of dummies on and they can search for that and find it easier in the night rather than you having to go in. And if you are desperate to still get rid of it because it's causing you sleep issues, then you will need to replace the dummy with a different sleep association. I would recommend the parent presence method that we go through in our program, and then removing you from the situation later on in a month or so once you've removed the dummy. Or thirdly, you can wait until 2.5 to 3 years old, where you're able to introduce the dummy fairy and really get your child to give up the dummy themselves. I hope that answers your question. As always, if you like this video, give us a big thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel and want to hear more information just like this one, click the subscribe button and check that notification bell.